Rachel Reeves's latest spring statement has sent shockwaves through the political and economic landscape, with headlines screaming about tax hikes, benefit cuts, and fears of a return to austerity. The question on everyone's mind: is this the tough but necessary action to stabilize the economy, or is it simply balancing the books on the backs of the poor? One of the most striking aspects of Reeves's announcement is her refusal to rule out future tax increases in the upcoming autumn budget. Coupled with sharp reductions in welfare benefits, this has sparked outrage across the political spectrum. The I-Paper highlights that these cuts could push 250,000 people into poverty at a time when economic growth is already faltering. Official forecasts for next year's GDP growth have been halved to just 1%, raising concerns that these measures may do more harm than good. The Metro has painted a dire picture, reporting that millions of lower-income families and disabled individuals will lose thousands of pounds annually as the government attempts to plug a £14 billion deficit. Labour MPs and charities have been vocal in their opposition, with some branding the move a return to the austerity measures of previous governments. The Daily Mirror echoes this sentiment, quoting major union leaders who accuse Reeves of making the wrong call by targeting disability benefits instead of imposing higher taxes on the wealthiest individuals. The Guardian further explores the impact of Reeves' plan, warning that nearly 3 million households could face an annual financial hit of £1,720. The government is already preparing for a potential Labour backbench rebellion, with up to 36 MPs reportedly considering breaking ranks over the severe welfare reductions. Paul Kissack, CEO of the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, has urged ministers to rethink their approach and prioritize protecting society's most vulnerable. But it's not just domestic policies causing concern. The Financial Times points to warnings from economic forecasters that Reeves may be forced to raise taxes due to the UK's narrow fiscal headroom. With just £9.9 billion of financial breathing space against the Treasury's strict rules, any external economic shock such as a global trade war could push the government towards further revenue-raising measures. Speaking of trade wars, The Times highlights the potential fallout from Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on UK exports, which could shrink economic growth by up to 1% if Britain retaliates. The impact of such a policy shift would make Reeves' current financial plans even more precarious. Meanwhile, the Daily Express and the Daily Telegraph have focused on what they see as Reeves' reckless approach, with the latter suggesting there is a 50-50 chance that additional tax hikes will be necessary within months. The Daily Mail goes even further, labeling her actions humiliating and arguing that they contradict Labour's promise of national renewal. For many, this is a case of history repeating itself, with Reeves' critics drawing comparisons to previous economic failures that eroded public trust. While Reeves insists this is not a return to austerity, public sentiment suggests otherwise. The government's fiscal responsibility rules appear to be constraining policy options, leading some to question whether Labour is truly delivering change or merely reinforcing the status quo. With a fragile economy, an uncertain global outlook, and growing political backlash, the Chancellor faces mounting pressure to adjust course before the autumn budget. Stay subscribed for more videos.